Fellas, just popping on here real fast. Did you know about the heat ray? Because I didn't know about the heat ray. Like, for real. Heat rays are real. I found that out last night. I thought that was just some Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, like Marvel, I don't know, imaginary technology, like heat ray. Yeah, I'm gonna get you with my heat ray. No, they're real. We found it, really my wife found it, I found the article. Well, we didn't find a heat ray, that'd be crazy. We found an article about heat rays. It's a real thing. I guess there's been tons of research into them, specifically into weaponizing them for the US military and then for other countries. I guess it's part of a program or like a type of ordinance that they were researching called ADS, or I believe it was area denial systems, or maybe it was active denial systems, but essentially like keeping people out of key areas. And they were researching different ordinances, equipment, weaponization, or weapon systems, I don't know, to keep bad guys out of certain spots, or be like, you know, like Gandalf with the Balrog, like you shall not pass. They were going to use heat rays to do that, dude. Imagine using a heat ray against a Balrog. That thing's already made of fire. That's crazy. But anyway, what is crazy but is real is the heat ray. They invented it. They developed it. As far as I know, it's not actively in use. It's not, something that our military is using, but the heat ray is real. Crazy. And I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting it to be like a ray gun, like something handheld, and it's not. We found a video of them testing a heat ray, and it's mounted to the back of a truck, of like an armored truck. Think of like a Humvee or an armored truck, and then it's got a heat ray instead of like a machine gun or a cannon or artillery mounted to it. That's exactly what to think of. Think of an artillery truck, like a truck that's got the missile bed that pops up and shoots, but instead of a missile bed, it has a giant like radar dish, and it's got like a focal point on the front, and there's a guy in there with a joystick, and he's got like a little computer screen, and he's aiming the heat ray at people, and then he's heat raying them. He's hitting them with the heat ray. That's crazy. I'm not a physicist. I don't understand the science behind it. What I could understand is that it uses some kind of electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic radiation. There's obviously a whole spectrum. You've got like, gamma rays, X-rays, things like that. Then you've got things like ultraviolet light, microwaves. They're all different types of electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic radiation, and there's different waves. And it's like there's a spectrum based on the interaction of the wave, and I don't know, its properties, whatever. And I guess the heat ray uses some type of energy on the spectrum that's in between like ultraviolet light, like this, or like a heat lamp or an incandescent bulb. And then it's somewhere between that and then a microwave, like the device you have in your kitchen probably, which uses microwave energy, microwaves focused on an item, probably your food, and it generates movement in the moisture. Like it makes the moisture molecules move, right? And for those of you who don't know, a molecule that is moving, it's not a molecule, it's like particles that are moving generate heat. That's what something, when it's hot, the particles are moving really fast, right? That's crazy, but that's what it is. And the heat ray uses some sort of energy that's like in between those two, right? So it's not light, it's not visible light, we should say. But obviously some types of visible light also carry a lot of energy, heat that we can perceive. The sun feels hot. A incandescent light bulb obviously produces light, but if you touch it, it's hot because the energy it's producing is not just light. It's, you could say, inefficiently producing energy, depending on what you want it for. And then a microwave, which doesn't have visible light, but certainly has perceivable heat, right? It makes our food hot. Crazy. And it's a ray, and it would focus into a specific area. So they had this armored truck, and they had these guys that were pretending, this was a test video, of course. They had these people that were pretending to be like a mob or like a riot or something like that. And they had, normal clothes on, and they were throwing stuff. And there was like policemen that were trying to hold them off. And then like 700 yards away, that's what it said its active range was. 700 yards. That is a crazy distance. That is very farther than, somebody with like regular firearms are going to shoot you from, probably, unless they're like some sort of, I don't know, a sniper obviously could do that. I don't know. We're getting out of my depth. out of my knowledge here. 700 yards, I know, is very far away. 700 yards away, so probably far enough away that you don't know that this armored truck with a heat ray has pulled up. That thing was ready to go with a dude on the inside. Kind of looked like a nerd. Watch out for the nerds. Shout out nerds with heat rays. Shout out to them. They have the upper hand. And he's inside with a joystick and a button. And I'm assuming the button was hit him with the ray. There was the ray button. And he would aim the joystick and then he would hit the heat ray. And you couldn't see what was happening. Obviously, the heat ray, the energy it was like projecting wasn't visible, but you would see the people and they would be like pretending to riot, and all of a sudden they were like, and they would turn around and run away. And I guess they weren't getting hurt. They said the type of energy they used, it was a certain frequency and it wouldn't penetrate your skin. Like, it was powerful enough to go through clothing, but not to go through your skin. So I guess like it would give you a sunburn if you were on it for too long, but it wasn't gonna like permanently damage your skin, like your deeper layers of your skin, your dermal layer, the dermis of your skin, which is crazy. And so the people that were they interviewed the people afterward that were getting hit by the heat ray, and they said it felt like there was nothing, and then it was like you just opened up the door of your oven and there was just a blast of heat. And they didn't like it just by their body language. So that's crazy, right? Heat ray is real. What's crazier is that there's also a death ray. Again, didn't know that was real. And the death ray essentially is using similar technology, but it's not using that certain spectrum of energy that I was just talking about that's like in between microwaves and ultraviolet light. It was using, I want to say, like gamma rays, which are, for our understanding, what you need to know is gamma radiation is much higher levels of dangerous radiation, carcinogenic radiation. Ionizing radiation. You've probably heard that before. That's like a nuclear bomb. I don't know that nuclear bombs use gamma waves. We're getting out of my depth again. Anyway, what you need to know is that the death ray is apparently also real, which is crazy. So we got ray guns out here for real. There's ray guns, they're heat rays, and they're death rays. I didn't know this was real. If any of you guys knew this was real, and I'm being serious, I don't mean like, oh, there's the potential for it. There's the potential for a million of these things. I'm talking about I saw a video and it was not super high definition. So this video was at least 10 years old for sure. This looked like it was filmed on a camcorder and it was like actual scientific tests. So the heat ray has been around is what I'm trying to say. So if you guys knew that and nobody told me, what the heck? That's crazy. So I'm doing the honest deed by putting a PSA out there. PSA, guys, heat rays are real. They're on a truck and they're super long range, and it looks like you have a nerd that operates it. So shout out to nerds again. I hope there's no beef between us. I am a nerd. I work on Excel. I play video games. I've been wearing glasses for like 15 years. I think I qualify.